and you're joining me on week 36 of my pregnancy journey. Thanks so much for joining me. 36 weeks, y'all, is 9 months. This is cray-cray because the baby is coming soon. And I know I said that before, like when I was 8 months. We go to 10 months, not 9. But it's real now, y'all, because I'm 9 months pregnant. Like, I've told people that, and they're like, oh, so the baby's coming any day now. And I'm like, well, next couple weeks, we'll see. I don't know yet if I'm going to be getting induced because my doctor, I told you guys, wasn't at my last appointment. She had to do a surgery. So I'm going to be meeting with her next week, and I'm going to get her recommendation for 2 things. 1, if I should be induced, and 2, if I need to start doing stress tests. So I'll let you guys know what her recommendation is after I see her next week. I'm looking forward to that appointment. But in the meantime, the baby is growing. The baby is 18.5 inches long and 6 pounds. And I mentioned to you guys, my babies are typically about 20 inches when they're born and about 7 pounds. So like, this baby could come any day and it's full term and it would be nice and healthy and happy, and it would be a whole baby, a whole baby already. I'm not ready yet. I know I should be, and I'm 36 weeks, so I definitely should be prepared, but I'm not yet. I will tell y'all, I'm ecstatic because I started my maternity leave. Yes, praise him on high. And as I mentioned to you guys, I work for an excellent company. They're based in Europe, and they give me 8 months off fully paid. So I am blessed. I am geeked. I am too turned. I have to show y'all this quick little video that I posted on Instagram because this is my mood right now. So because of the time off, I feel like I can now really just focus my mind on getting ready for this baby. And then I'll be ready. Like, give me another week and I'll be ready. I got to do some paperwork, got to do the whole short-term disability. You got to do your job. You got to do the state of California. You got to have your doctor involved in the process and all that good stuff. So let me get through all that. And then I will have my mind ready and set on preparing for the baby. And I really do. I get to that point where I start nesting. My sister-in-law is always laughing at me like, oh, look at you. You're at the point where you're nesting now. That means the baby's going to be here soon. But it's when a mom starts getting the nest ready. So like with the last baby, I cleaned out my whole garage during my maternity leave. And I was so relieved to get so much junk out of my garage and to donate so much stuff, so many clothes, so many old baby items. I was able to donate a ton of stuff, which I'm going to do again. My garage is actually pretty tight now. I do have some stuff that I'm going to donate within the next week or 2. And so I am preparing to get my garage cleaned out and make room for new baby stuff. We got to get a new stroller, a new car seat. There's other big items that we're going to need to have some space for soon, and so I want to start to order some of those items. I mentioned to you guys last week that I did start my Amazon registry, which I made private, and it's just a small registry that I'm sharing with family, close friends, and coworkers. And so I have gone through my kitchen this week, all my cabinets, and I threw out a lot of stuff that I won't be able to reuse, just like old baby bottles or old pacifiers. But I knew that I would need additional ones, so I put some of that stuff on my registry. But yeah, I started nesting, y'all. So I've gotten my Amazon registry created and started to update it. I started nesting in my house. I told y'all last week that I ordered my pump, so I'm expecting that any day now. So I am making progress. This is why I love maternity leave, because it gives you that opportunity to get things ready when you just don't have that time and space to do that before you deliver. I know a lot of women, though, that work all the way up until delivery. Like, I have coworkers who have told me stories of them being at work and then having to rush to the hospital because they worked until the day of their delivery. I just didn't want to be that chick, like, ever. Like, especially living in California, I've already bragged to y'all a few times that we get a lot of benefits here, and one of those benefits is California pregnancy disability, where you're able to still earn most of your pay, 60 to 70% of your pay while you're off. And for some women, that's not sufficient. You need all of your pay. The nice thing that I've learned through my experience is that if your job provides short-term disability, then you can actually apply for both and you may qualify to get both. So you can still get 100% of your pay between your company's short-term disability and the state of California's disability. I do think I'm going to do a mini series just on navigating that whole process for moms in California. It's a tricky process, but it's just paperwork, honestly. And if you know what to apply for, then it'll be very easy to get through the process and get your money. So you guys know I do a Did You Know segment on my channel some weeks. This week I have a few Did You Knows. The first one is, did you know that if you have a navel piercing, so you got a little belly ring, there are rings that you can buy for pregnancy. So I still had my navel ring when I was pregnant with Kennedy, and I was able to wear new belly rings throughout the whole pregnancy. Instead of having like the shorter ones that are maybe on top of your belly button, you can buy these long ones that grow with your belly, and they're not metal. They're actually like a hypoallergenic plastic that you can use. And of course, I would always recommend, disinfect it before you even put it in there. But I had some cute ones that you can see here. I knew I was having a girl with Kennedy, so I got those little girl footprints with my ring. That was one of my rings. But I had like 2 or 3 that I bought, and that's what they look like. Instead of being like a small metal, they're long. So they can fit over that large space, that gap that has been created between the top of your navel and your belly button. So it's just a FYI, if you have a navel piercing and you don't want to let it go, there are alternatives where you can buy special belly rings. I just got mine off of Amazon. Shout out to Prime, my best friend. You can still maintain your navel piercing throughout your pregnancy. Now with my second though, I still had planned to have my navel piercing, but, and this might freak y'all out a little bit, mine thinned out too much. The skin between the navel piercing and the top of my belly button, those 2 holes, that area thinned out too much. So let's say, for instance, you put the ring in, it goes in one hole and out the other. So that skin that was on top thinned out. I know it's gross. And so I got to a point where I couldn't wear rings anymore because my bottom hole started to close up due to the thinning of that skin above the ring. So you may not be as unlucky. I was fine my first pregnancy. It was my second one where my ring was like, I'm tired. My belly holes were like, we're retiring. So just a word to the wise, if you have a navel piercing and you want to try to maintain it, just beware that there could be a point in your pregnancy where that skin just gets too thin and you're not able to wear it anymore. Like I said, you could be lucky and just like I was with my first pregnancy and still be cute with your little belly ring, as long as you get the ones that are hypoallergenic and that are plastic and that are much longer, where you can actually cut the length yourself and buy extra ones, so as your belly grows you can wear the longer ones. So just a random little fact and part of my experience in pregnancy. Another Did You Know I want to share this week is about preparing your body for pregnancy. So we've talked about being able to prepare your body with things like doing your Kegels and doing perinatal massages and even doing regular prenatal massages and even prenatal yoga. So those are a lot of different ways that I like to prepare my body for pregnancy. But there are a couple other things that I wanted to share now that I'm in the last few weeks of my pregnancy that I'm starting to do now. So one thing that my doctor recommended when I had Cammie, my second baby, is to start taking lecithin once I hit the 36-week mark. So what is lecithin? This is a dietary supplement. This is just a CVS brand that I use with the last baby. I've tried different brands. They all work efficiently. So it does say if you're pregnant or nursing, ask your doctor first. So I would definitely recommend you talk to your doctor if you're in this predicament. But let me tell you why I take it. So I've been prone to breast milk clogs in the past, which are not fun. And it's because my milk comes through so sticky and thick, and so it gets clogged up pretty easily. And my lactation consultant actually recommended lecithin when I was breastfeeding with Kennedy. And so I didn't know what it was, and I learned it's a dietary supplement. This one is 1,200 milligrams, and it's found in a lot of different foods and other medicines and things of that nature. But what it does with a woman who is nursing, it actually helps loosen up your breast milk. Whether I'm breastfeeding or pumping, it's the same similar mechanism of action. And so I need something that is gonna loosen up my milk and keep it loose. So when I was pregnant with Cammy, once I hit 36 weeks, my doctor, she was like, I remember your experience with Kennedy. I recommend that you start taking lecithin now and let your body get used to it before you start breastfeeding this time. And I'm telling y'all, it worked wonders, because I only got clogs very rarely with Cammy, whereas I was clogged literally like every other week with Kennedy. I'm not even exaggerating. So taking my lecithin now to prepare my body to breastfeed again preventively, so that I don't have those clogs that I had with Kennedy. And then the other thing I'm going to start doing, which sounds a little funny, is getting my nipples ready for nursing. Yes, you have to get them ready. Now, with this being my third time around nursing, I actually don't have to worry about the preparation process as much. But for you first-time moms, or for those who are looking to get pregnant and you just want to learn, your nipples, your poor nipples, they're going to go through it when you're learning how to breastfeed. This is the part people don't tell you. It's all natural and beautiful and blah, blah, blah. They talk about all that. But it is quite painful in the beginning when you're learning how to do it and your baby is learning how to latch. And so there are lots of creams that I've used for my nipples. This is just Lantano's lanolin cream. It's 100% natural, says safe for baby and mom, and it soothes and protects sore nipples. So y'all know I'm not lying. Yeah, you're gonna need that. But what you can start to do before you even have your baby is to start rubbing your nipples, just because we're used to using them for other purposes before we have kids, and they can be quite sensitive, and you want to kind of rough them up a little bit, which again sounds really odd, but you want to get them to a point where they're not so sensitive, so that every little touch doesn't hurt. You can dip them in Epsom salt. That's one recommendation I got from a lactation consultant, is to just start dipping them. If you can get like a little tub or a bowl or something and just put some Epsom salt in with some water, mix it up. You can just start to kind of dip your breast in there. Again, I know this all sounds weird and you're going to be like, and if you've never nursed before, then you probably are looking at me like I'm crazy right now. But I am trying to save your boobs. I'm trying to save your nipples because they're going to go through the ringer, and the skin, whew, the skin on your nipples goes through a lot. So if you can start to start to massage them, start to get them ready. If you don't believe me, just Google it. This is a good time in your pregnancy to start doing things like that if you're planning to breastfeed, so that you can try to get your boobs and your nipples as ready as possible. I'm telling you, girl, you're gonna thank me later. I promise. Well, that's it for week 36, my lovelies. Thank you so much for joining me. Before you go, check out my big belly bump. Yes, it's big. Don't front on me like it's not. It's actually rock hard right now. So I think I'm having a Braxton Hicks contraction. It's another thing. I've been having contractions every day. A couple times a day now. Every day. So I know that's a sign. Baby's on the way. So don't forget to join me next week. I'm going to have a couple updates for you. One, my OB's updates about whether or not I need to start stress tests. And then two, if I'm gonna need to plan an induction. And then three, I'm actually gonna start packing my hospital bag. So I'd love to share the checklist with you. And I'm not doing a full birth plan this baby, but I would like to share what a birth plan is with you and what typically is included in a birth plan. So got a lot of nice highlights for you guys next week and a lot of cool updates. So can't wait for you to join me. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, girl.